He'll be lucky if he ever gets another toy again. This happened a little while ago, but it still makes me laugh a little. I was on the till for one of my shifts, the end till closest to the exit. Just before the exit was one of those toy dispensers, the sort where you put a coin in, turn it, and get a cheap piece of poorly colored plastic that half resembles a character from some kids' show. I've seen a lot of kids pester their parents or guardians for a $1 coin for the thing. Some give in, others don't. This story is about one who didn't. I was serving an older guy, perhaps in his late 50s or early 60s, who was out shopping with his young grandson, around 4. He was nice enough, polite, and friendly, as was the grandson when asking for a $1 coin for the toy machine. To the kid's credit, he, at first, started asking very nicely. Kid: "Grandad, could I please have $1 for a toy?" The way the kid said it showed good manners. The granddad then told him no, in an equally well-mannered and nice tone. It was kind of refreshing to see all round, to be honest. Unfortunately, though, that's not where it ended. The child kept asking for a $1 coin from his granddad, the request getting less mannered each time, but not quite reaching the tantrum zone yet. Grandad stuck firm on his response. He didn't lose his cool or his manners, merely got slightly firmer. The kid didn't like this and did something neither of us were expecting. He gave his granddad a death stare while his back was turned, and then ran straight out of the store at full speed. It would be bad enough for the kid to run away, but the store was on a very busy road. The kid could be out the door and into traffic in a matter of seconds. The granddad didn't notice as he had his back turned to the kid, but I quickly pointed out the fleeing child to him as he left the building. Panicked, the granddad tried to hand me his wallet. Grandad: "S Right, I'll be back. I'll pay for the shopping. Take this." And I told him to just go get the child. I honestly didn't care about the shopping. Quick as he could manage, he ran out of the building. I stood at the side of my till so that I could see out the exit. I could see the granddad looking around the busy car park, but I couldn't see the kid, and it was clear that he couldn't either. At that point, I was seriously expecting someone in the queue to start whining about having to wait and demanding to be served, but unbelievably, no one did. Everyone seemed to just be focused on what was happening. After a tense 20 seconds or so, I heard a little voice beside me. Kid: "Where's Grandad?" I looked down to see that the kid had, somehow, made his way back into the store. I quickly grabbed the hood on the child's coat. Me: "Don't move." With one hand holding the kid's hood, I started waving in large gestures to the granddad outside. He quickly noticed me and re-entered the store, red in the face and almost breathless. He saw his grandson, whom I still hadn't let go of. The granddad walked up to the kid, a mixture of exhaustion, anger, and relief, all playing across his face at once. He stood there, catching his breath, as he stared his grandson dead in the eyes. I let go of the hood as the kid stared back at his granddad. Neither spoke for a full 10 seconds. The kid is the first to break the silence. Kid: "Can I have a worse dollar, Grandad?" The level of restraint that man showed in that moment was godly. He just paid for his shopping, got his grandson by the arm, and took him out of the store. As they passed the toy machine, the child quickly realized he wasn't getting a toy and went full tantrum. I didn't hear his crying for long, as the granddad didn't even slow his pace one bit as he dragged that kid out of the store, unraveling the mystery of the mystery. Sure, I've worked at the same restaurant for the last 3 years, and we've had just 2 unrelated sewing smearing incidents in all that time. For this neighborhood, that's pretty middle of the road. For the last few months on and off, we had someone coming in and doing it as a regular routine. Same MO. They'd stop up our sink, not our toilet. Clearly they weren't using that whatsoever, and smear size all over the wall. Thankfully, I'm not on the maintenance crew, but it always made me feel god-awful for them when I discovered it. Plus, it's obviously a major disruptor to the day. "Welcome in. I hope no one has to use the restroom." So, it was a problem, but apparently, not a big enough one to inspire management to do anything. We had been trying a system of using a key that customers had to request for the bathroom, but there were some problems. A. You could tell it gave people too much of a gas station vibe. We kept getting questions about it, and it just doesn't match our type of place. B. It was a pain to keep track of the key. People kept forgetting to give it back, and we kept forgetting to ask. Finally, C. We had smear incidents, even in the midst of the key system. So, just days prior to the grand confrontation, we'd scrap that system. The moment came when a customer complained that they'd been waiting forever for the restroom, and they really had to go. It was a busy time when we'd usually be paying no attention to the bathroom, a perfect time to slip in and out. In hindsight, the illicit saw-eater may not even have been in there long and just had poor timing with someone impatient. So, I knocked on the door. No answer. I knocked again. Me. Is everything okay? Customer. In bathroom. Everything's fine, but I'm going to be a minute. Waiting. Customer. It's already been like 15 minutes. I've gotten up and come back, twice. She said that as though she expected me to actually do something, which I don't do much of at work. But the customer seemed pretty distraught, and we do have users wander in sometimes and take advantage of our private bathroom setup, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to follow up if there was nothing after a few minutes. Sure enough, the next time I did a lap, the poor customer was still hopping around out there, and someone else was waiting too now. I knocked again. Me. Not to rush you, but there's a line forming. Everything okay? Nothing. I knocked again and asked if everything was good. I was getting legitimately worried someone had OD'd or been sick or something. I went and quickly relayed the situation to my manager. She had more presence of mind than I did and thought to take the customers over to the staff bathroom. Manager. If there's no response, use the key and crack the door. I didn't feel prepared for what I was going to see, but I couldn't have imagined what it would turn out to be. We aren't a big place, and the restroom faces out into the dining room, so we had most of the table's attention by that point. I knocked a final time and announced myself. I cracked the door, and bam! I saw a woman who couldn't be a day over 40 trying frantically to clean up the wall. She hadn't gotten to unstopping the sink yet. I shut the door just as quickly as I'd opened it to collect myself. She was a normal, typical, even professional-looking woman, like a receptionist or a bank teller. We had, shame on us, been looking pretty much exclusively for homeless guys and unstable-looking guys as far as a red alert for the wall summitor went. Don't even ask what possessed me to do this, but I started talking to her through the door. I was just so done curious, and I kind of figured, selfishly, that I had her cornered. I asked the $10,000 question. Me. Why would you do that? Silence. Maybe unsurprisingly. But I followed up with the cutting interrogation of me. Hey. I think she thought she had to answer, or we wouldn't let her leave or something, because she replied, customer in bathroom. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I really am sorry. I have a lot going on, and look, I am really sorry. Really. This is just something that lets me let off steam. I know it's not right. I'm sorry. I won't be back. I'm sorry. Please don't do anything. I wasn't really satisfied with that. Maybe I should have let it drop there, but I figured I'd never have a chance to get this curiosity satisfied again. I had always wondered, at each of these instances, what was going through the head of a person like that? And this answer was not doing it for me at all. So I dug deeper with a subtle mind game of me. But why though? There was silence for what felt like forever, but she did eventually reply. Customer in bathroom. I really don't know, or I wouldn't do it. I swear to you, it's just a release. I considered asking more hard-hitting, original questions, but I figured that was as far as we'd probably get. I assumed it was redundant to say she was not allowed back, so I just got out of her way and she bolted. So, the mystery sitter may look like a very put-together person, but in my book, she's still an a-hole.